Welcome to the Mic Drop, episode 1, the pilot episode, a series that me and Voltaire are kind of workshopping. We got our ideas of how we want it to go, so we're going to explain it to you. This is going to be a show. Probably, it's like Voltaire's a busy guy. He likes to do content, but more than likely, maybe like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday nights, something like that. Maybe a Thursday every once in a while. Who knows? And it's not going to be a schedule. It's Voltaire just be like, if you have time to do it, just text me. Like, I'd like to do an episode tonight. Now, sometimes there could be a main topic. Callie's already, I forgot to put Callie away. Callie, get over here. Sometimes there could be a main topic. For example, Voltaire does an excellent job on if there's a celebrity law issue, breaking it down, or something really controversial, but it's more in the vein of like John Campia's open mic, Grace Randolph's, ask me anything or, type of thing. We do enjoy going over the good news of X or Twitter. And then fortunately we have some first, the Mic Drop mailbag questions and topics, Voltaire. So I really appreciate the support of the members already starting. Now we may go a little extra more than we normally do on regular panels, right, Voltaire? Just a little bit. But we would ask that everyone keep calm and try to accept difference of opinion and don't go at war at the chat, because I do see some people ask a few political questions in there.
Oh, no.
Also, if I'm not available, Voltaire has the go-ahead to go do a stream without me too, and then you can ask to be a panelist on the Mic Drop episodes, because we can also have one more. That's it. We're limiting to 3 at the most, right? Me, you, and one other person as a guest on the Mic Drop episode. And if you would like to do that, Voltaire volunteered on X. Contact him and say, I'd like a guest spot on the Mic Drop. Talk with you and Max, or just you, How does that? Did I miss anything, Voltaire? Does that sound accurate?
No, this is a pilot program, and we're trying it out. And again, the fun part, I think, for members and listeners is if you want to come on to a panel with just Max and I, and where it's not a whole bunch of people.
It's hard to get a word in.
Yeah, and maybe it's a little nerve-wracking.
No, I am going to still have MME live.
Yeah, this is a side project, everybody.
Yeah, this is extra content supported by members. Honestly, it's the support that we get. We might even have Rational on some point. He just popped in. No sending links to anyone, Rational, but we'll have you on if you want. I don't know if we want. I mean, it's potentially Zeno keeps getting free memberships. We could even have Zeno on, I guess. He called me early. Whatever. It's up to Voltaire. Voltaire handles the guest list, at least for now. CJH can bring back the soundboard.
Oh, I wish he would.
Yes.
That was.
I do. And yeah, I would invite you if you behaved. You're always sending links out, and it's not you. If you show up, I'd have you on. Actually, let me put Callie away so it's nice and calm. I'll be right back, Voltaire. Hold it down for just 20 seconds.
Yeah, so everybody, if there's ever a time that you want to come on, you don't have to come on for the whole time, or if there's a topic that you want to come on and talk about with Max and I, you've just, you're kind of sick of typing in the chat and maybe not getting all your thoughts out, let us know. Reach out to Max or I on Twitter, and, we'll start bringing people on just for fun. And all topics are open. I want to say that up front. All topics are open. We're here with an open mind. We're not on either side of anything, and it's always about listening to all opinions and not just sort of being dogmatic into one side or another, which I think is a problem in this kind of content now. What do you mean? What's this bullshit, Cal? This is the best. What are you talking about? Actually, Cal, I'd like to have a talk with you sometime. Even though you're chipping to me on a regular basis.
Oh, you nominate Cal even though he goes, even though he questions your game abilities?
He chips at me, but it's good natured ribbing, and I like that.
You know what? Next time on the Mic Drop, I'm gonna have a Pabst. I'm gonna get some beer, and I'm gonna relax and really chill out before the work week. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. If Cal's on, you kind of have to drink past.
No, not any top. We have discretion. See, this is why, Zeno. This is why people don't like you. You always push the boundary. Any topic, you can ask, but that doesn't mean, I'm like, whatever. I don't want to cover that,
Mm-hmm.
See, you see how he pushes it right away? No, but definitely CJH, we want to have you on. Bruce, well, I have another show I'm launching this week. That's all I'm saying. Yes, and I did have fun on Kingdom of Nerds for sure. No,
sure.
Did you say any topic?
I might have said any topic.
You can ask any topic, but that doesn't mean we're going to answer.
You can propose any topic.
Listen, it's more casual than normal here. I'm going to fill this with beer next time because I miss beer. I stopped soda. But I miss beer. I caught this on tape hunting, my Budweiser. I'm drinking water, but this isn't what is this? This is not manly at all.
No.
This isn't making me relax drinking
hydration is manly. There's nothing wrong with hydration.
No, I've been drinking a lot more water. I have.
Yeah.
But I also would like a beer every once in a while. I don't want to drink a case a day or anything, but one or two,
Yeah, absolutely.
Pabst Brewed Liquid. So why don't we first, there's not too much going on Twitter. I'll bring it up, but let's just jump right into the mailbag first to see what the people, the members are asking.
What? Mailbag off the top? That's usually a closing segment. See, everybody, it's different.
Yeah. No, I said not a case a day. I've never done that. I've only been drunk one time in my life. My bachelor party. That's it.
Well, good for you. That's good for your health.
Yeah. So I've been on medicine for many years too, so I just can't mix it. Let me bring up the first mic drop mailbag. Let me bring this up here. Hold on a second. So how was your weekend, Voltaire, too, by the way? We haven't got to talk a little.
It's been I got a very busy week this week. I have some big clients coming into town that I have to wine and dine.
Yeah.
And take around and go to they're from out of town, but they have a work site here where I am. And so I got to take them out tomorrow night, entertain them, get them drunk, pay a lot of money for an expensive dinner at Ruth Chris.
Oh, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Well, I mean, I can't be cheap in front of my clients, right? I mean, they know how much they pay me every year. So
that's true.
Yeah, right. I got to take them out to dinner tomorrow night. That's going to be a headache.
Yeah, white guy stuff. I don't know.
And then I'm going to go to their work site on Tuesday for a tour, which I absolutely don't care about, but I have to pretend to be super interested in all that kind of thing. So, that kind of stuff.
Cool. Just a heads up, if you'd like, I can already set up the episode for next week if you want to do one Friday or Saturday night, but I will be gone for the weekend. It's you decide. You let me know. Message me.
Let's go. I mean, at the beginning, I think, Max, we should do it together.
Okay. Cool.
Before I start going out on my own,
Very, very, that's fine. But if you want to be one of the first guests, I think the second episode, we'd like to try a guest, see how it goes, right?
What do you mean? Guest with both of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So message Voltaire on Twitter. If you want to share your Twitter handle in the chat, or if you want to put in the private chat, I'll put it there.
Yeah.
Good God. Really, RJ? You ask Voltaire. It's up to Voltaire.
I mean, look, we opened it to all comers. We take on all comers.
Okay. All right.
So RJ is one. So yeah, if he wants to, that's fine with me.
All right. Look, what the hell, man? All right. So let's bring up the mic drop mailbag. See what's in there. I think we got a little bit different topics than normal. I will start with one of the hottest ones. You had to make it. He also is testing us to see if we'll talk about politics again. I think this is a mic drop standard. I think we should go by Voltaire. We don't care who you vote for. Just be cool, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I know, it's funny because I get accused by both sides of being on one side or another, which is like, thank you. It's
Yes.
because I really do take things on as neutral. I have no emotion with this stuff because that's just how I live my life. I might have opinions on what things are and that kind of thing, but I look at it from a not an emotional standpoint and never from a this side's right and this side's wrong always. I
And
just think,
Larry's the one I want to get on the show, a musician. Larry, I'd love to have you on an episode with me and Voltaire in the future too.
yeah,
So
Larry's good.
I want to cover the hot one first. We're not going to be afraid to go into politics. We just want to tell everyone be cool.
Well, hang
because
on. I
it's
want to
only
address
going to get
this question. No, it's not that I have to let Max decide. It's that Max runs the channel and he sets up the StreamYard for me. That's what it is. Okay. So it's not that Max is the
no. At
overlord.
least from now, like I could honestly say if I really want someone on for sure.
Yeah.
But I just stream so much. I'd kind of like Voltaire to take it off me for a little bit. That's something you could do is set up a guest, list.
Okay.
Go through them for a bit, So
Okay.
that's see, Larry would love to. It honestly one less thing I have to do. So that's why. If you really want on, message me too, but please just message Voltaire.
Well, yeah, either of us. But yeah, and I'm interested in what people do. I'm interested. I think everybody's got an interesting life and I like to ask questions. So
And this show is not intended to go really long. We're both busy people. We have all our streams that we handle and a lot of other things going on. So I would say hour and a half max. If you would like to super chat and extend the show, then we could go into overtime or tip in general. It's not a requirement, but it's really appreciated and it helps the show stay on the road. I'm not going to lie. It really does help. So even like little super stickers or anything like that, if you would like to tip, it's very much appreciated. Cybersals, member for 9 months. Thank you, Cybersals. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get to no, Isaac, I wanted to go with one of the hottest topics first to say, we'll cover it where we can, because this gets people. Listen, me and Voltaire are pretty reasonable, I think. Some may say we're not, but even dealing in real life, even in getting off the internet, when you talk about the election and Donald Trump or Biden, people really don't like the other side, whether which side you're on. And it's really hostile, even in families, right, Voltaire?
Yep. Hey, Max, did you make this members only, by the way?
For now I did.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah.
But if you're not a member and you want a question, put it in the chat now. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course it's okay. I was just I saw somebody mention members only.
Yeah, I did it the last time we piloted a show, me and you, I did non-channel members and no one put anything.
Oh.
So that's why I thought I tried this way. But CJH, if you have a question, just put it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes without saying the members may get a little bit priority here, but I'll star your comment. And
I see. Sorry. So the questions are members only, but the stream is not members only.
No.
Oh, okay. Who cares? Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah. All right.
No, Cal. The members stream earlier, I had to cancel because of lots of stuff going on. I wasn't feeling it, so I apologize. But members content will be back, Cal. So Isaac, anyone else? Member streams are still a thing. MME Live is still a thing. And now it's just an additional show. The mic drop could go a little bit hotter. You could drop the mic on a topic if you want.
Yeah. Cal, you come on this show with just Max and I. It's better than that.
It might actually help because this is another reason I thought of this, Voltaire, is some of our members or friends that want to be on a show that are on like phone connections. StreamYard does not do good with more than a few people. So we could even have Senior Nerd on this, Right. So, All right. So the first one is, if Donald Trump wins in November, what will realistically happen?
Good God, RJ, right off the top.
So I will say, I wish everyone the best, no matter who you're voting for in America. I don't see a way out of this without huge controversy, no matter what happens. I don't. I don't. I feel now at this point, no matter what people say, both sides are going to be not accepting the results. Very aggravated. I just hope everyone stays safe. I will say this: no matter what you think, and even if you are watching the news right now, both sides of mainstream media are their whole thing they do is act like if the other side wins, it's the end of the world. And that's what they've done consistently. Now, some people think it is. I would just say hold tight, stay safe, and let's just ride it out. We're gonna have to buckle up. That's all I'm thinking. I don't know, but what's your response, Voltaire? How would you handle RJ's question?
So it's not going to be like if Trump was reelected in 2020. I think there was so much vitriol against him that if he was reelected in 2020, there would have been, I think people would have lost their mind. As weird as it sounds, I think people would have lost their minds more in 2020 than if it happens again in 2024, if that makes sense. I think there was more like vitriol and hate towards him, and it was stemmed up, and the people who disliked him wanted him out so bad. I think now that they've had 4 years away from him, it's kind of softened. They still hate him, don't get me wrong, but I just think the fury will be kind of gone, the venom of it as much anyway. What would happen? I don't know. Look, everybody, and people are going to get mad at me for saying this. The reality is, whoever is president, Americans, it doesn't affect your day-to-day life that much.
Well, at least we don't think so. There's some policies that are going to affect people. You don't know. I just hope.
Yeah. I mean,
Isaac, it's not. I love you, Isaac. It's not just Trump, though. To be fair, it's not. Part of it, part of this derangement syndrome is something that he inherited from them constantly going after him. He has. How would you feel if someone constantly went after you? So I'm not a fan of his. I'm not, but
right. But Isaac's point is that he changed the discourse and the way people talk about
that's for sure.
And that's true, Isaac. You're 100% correct with that. Now, is he to blame for how toxic things are? I don't know that that's 100% fair. You know what I mean? I think there's some other parts to it. But back to my point, like your day-to-day life doesn't change that much, isn't affected that much. But what is interesting right now is people's day-to-day lives are affected right now because of how bad inflation is and how expensive, like the grocery store.
Well, here's what I would like to ask you, Voltaire. Even if the opposing candidate wins that you're not happy about, your family or your politics aren't happy about, do you think there's enough safeguards in place to protect people from on a president unhinged, either side? Do you think that the law, the rule of law, and safeguards, there's enough there? Because I know people have a lot of concerns that either one's just going to, either side, they both say that president just does whatever they want, Yeah. So do you have faith in the institutions?
I have faith in the American institutions and the checks and balances here, that we won't fall into a complete dictatorship or all these sorts of doom and gloom things. I mean, we see little hints of them. But for that to actually happen in this country, you would actually need somebody to actually flip this country. You'd actually need somebody to take the military, to have the military behind them. That's how these coups happen in other countries, is some dictator or would-be dictator has the backing of the entire military or the vast majority of the military. To do that in America with our checks and balances and all that kind of thing is near impossible. So, no, I don't think that's going to really happen. I still have faith in our systems here.
Okay. Yeah, I hope. I've actually become white-pilled, where things do get bad, but I think eventually it'll work itself out. At least I hope.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that theory Honestly, the only reason I was really really looking into it is the young Ripa had a single cold white pill. I'm like, all right, let me look into this. Did a little bit of YouTube videos. I'm like, I kind of like that because I understand why people get black pilled, because it's like there's nothing you could do. Both sides are a sham. You don't really have any choice. It's just an illusion that you have a choice. It's, no one's really helping the American people or anything, but I kind of think things will eventually work itself out. I hope.
I have faith in the system.
Yeah. So enough of that. Thank you, RJ, I think.
Right off the top, RJ. Wow.
No, inflation is sky high. But Zeno, this is your part of the problem, blaming all Biden. It's not all Biden the reason they're out,
So, historically, from a historical standpoint, incumbent presidents in the United States virtually win virtually every single time, except for if the economy is super bad. George Bush won, super bad economy. Jimmy Carter, super bad economy. You know what I mean? Trump, COVID, right? That's what you call a black swan event that you can't predict.
Well, the checks came out with Trump and the Clockstone came out with Trump. But to be honest, as much as the Democratic wing would like to say that's on him, that's what we were asking for. I mean, that's what Democrats were asking for, to be safe and everything. But they did start there. And a lot of decisions, the reason inflation is up, they're both equally to blame, I think.
Yeah. So the question is, because I believe in that historical precedent of the incumbent getting reelected, is the economy bad enough to get Biden kicked out? I don't know that it is. I don't know. So we'll see.
I'll be honest. I do think that they are doing the debates early in case Biden does really bad and his support drops even more, so they could do something else. I do think that's possible. I don't think I'm not so conspiracy that I think it's definitely going to happen. I think if you do it, then the first one, you could really see oh, this is not going to work. What if the first debate happens, which I'm going to watch for sure.
Hell yeah, you're going to watch.
Honestly, we might want to do a mic drop after that. Oh, Bruce, I will give my first L. Bruce came in with a hot topic too, even though he didn't put it in the mailbag, that I was incorrect about the job report. And it is up. And that I said, I've never been happier to be wrong. I still think people are struggling out there. I still think inflation is hurting families. But the job report is up. And I kind of don't understand why it is, honestly. But thank you, Bruce. That is a positive. It is up.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that debate, depending on what they do, what happens with Donald Trump with sentencing, he could be doing it from Mar-a-Lago or from New York.
I think. Listen, regardless of even if you're for him being convicted or not, I think during an election and during a debate, having him have to be stuck at Mar-a-Lago is a huge mistake. He's instantly going to get more sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
I think just let him do the debate regardless. And then, people will finally, I am disappointed in Republicans and Democrats about how, used to be anyone could be president. You can't. You have to have so many millions of dollars. And then the way that both Trump and Biden, I don't like either one of them, ignoring the other candidates was disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard they're pushing out RFK?
They are going hard to get him out of.
And I know everyone likes to say, "Oh, Max and the brainworms guy." I don't care. What I really appreciated was I saw him in an interview, and he was saying, "I am not going to go into the culture war topics. I'm going to actually talk about what I want to do." And I said that I like that. And then he also said people actually want to vote for me instead of against the other person. Each side, the left and the right, lose their minds. How did all those people vote for him? That's not what it is. All those votes come in to vote against the other person.
Mm-hmm.
That's the platform of politics right now. So am I do I love RFK? No, I don't. but I like the way he conducts himself. I don't agree. Listen, I took the vaccine to support my family. My parents are both high risk. And that's something I had to come around on. At the very beginning of the pandemic, I was pro, like, everyone should get this to help everyone else. But you know what? Freedom of choice, and freedom over your body, your choice should be consistent. And if you're for pro-choice, I don't like to say people say pro-abortion. Who the hell is pro-abortion? That sounds like you want it to happen. No, you're pro-choice for someone to have that ability to choose. It's a hard decision, Yeah, it's a hard decision. But let's move on
to the next topic.
Okay, no, but I'm saying that's something I had to move on from, because at the beginning of the pandemic I was like that. Okay,
right.
That's just me personally. If you don't want to comment, I understand. Okay, but all right, let's go to the next one here. But what's your thoughts on the jobs market, though?
What did I say? I'm not going to lie and say I understand the report completely, but it said there was less job openings, which was a good thing, right? Meaning that the jobs are filled, right? Is that why it was positive? Is because there was less people looking for it, or is it just a lower unemployment rate? Is that what it was?
I didn't look at it that much. I just went off what Bruce told me. And Zeno, please chill out. See, you always have to make it extreme. Okay. See, it's not for me. You're right. You were right to move on, Voltaire. That was my fault. We're figuring out the border, the guidelines to go within. Yeah. That's the one I should not bring up again. Moving on. And that's from you too, Zeno. Moving on.
Let's get a fun question from Isaac or something.
Yeah. Yes. Jacob McKenzie. Thoughts on Kevin Smith says movie tickets are too expensive. Cinema is going to become vinyl, which is like it's never going away. You're going from the mass experience of like 250 to 300 people in a theater to like 50 people because the ticket price has gone up, and hopefully we're going to sell you food and booze. I completely agree with that. It's no longer. There was someone else that was on doing an interview. I don't know if it was Kevin. Someone else.
Yeah, I know.
That was saying, yeah, it's no longer the movie theater. It's not like high theater or anything. It's for it was marketed originally for the every person, and it's outreach for the every general consumer for a lot of people to justify,
Right. I know the interview you're talking about. I can't remember who said it, but they were very
Quentin Tarantino, or
yeah, it was Tarantino. Yeah, like it's no longer like, hey, let's go to the movies because it's fun and it's no big deal. Like it's just something night out. It's become a whole excursion, and the price and everything is it's pricing people out. I agree with that, and that started with having to pay $9 for a soda. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's built up from there.
Yeah, so I agree with this. The other thing that I've come across is in the age of streaming, remember back in the day when movies were extremely popular, you had like TV season. You don't have that anymore. TV is every season now with streaming. Like from like when school starts to when summer, and then you had Memorial Day and the summer movie season. It was like seasons. This is the season for television. This is the season for movies. So beyond streaming being a thing, it's constantly streaming season. That's the other thing that's impacting it, I think.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Max, it's this is gonna hurt you, but once they moved on from VCR and DVD took over, and the quality bumped up so much compared to VHS, it made the home experience, much more palatable, and people enjoy the home experience now. Mm-hmm. I'm watching it there on their
I will say this. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I would love theaters to thrive, but thinking about 250 to 300 people in one theater actually is like, it makes me want to cringe, because the way people are just like so loud anymore, all across the board. Young people on their phones and stuff. Like, even though I want the theater, and I think that's another factor. It's like people just don't have no chill anymore in the theater. Like, do you want it? Honestly, even though you want good stories to be rewarded and be, would you like to be in a theater with 250, 300 people and current day people Not like people that were more respectful to each other back in the day.
No, man, I'm a person of etiquette, and I can't handle how
Yeah.
poor people's general consideration and etiquette is nowadays.
Yeah.
I hate it.
So that's not something that could be reclaimed, I don't think. I don't think it's going to go back to the way it was, you know.
Yeah.
People don't have genuine etiquette towards their fellow people anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if I could handle a theater that packed, unless it's like a really hot movie. Like the last movie I saw that was that packed was Oppenheimer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to become more of a.
We
My
just
prediction
went
is
through
it's going to have to be big movies.
Mhm.
You know, Wolverine, and Deadpool, that kind of thing.
All right. Let me see. Let's do a variety here. Larry Kortkowitz. Hey, did you guys see the Boys showrunner admitted that Homelander? God damn it, Larry. Did you see that the Boys showrunner admitted that Homelander is pretty much Trump and all these right wingers are going to stop watching? LOL. I love when the fans realize the stuff they love has been woke the whole time, never noticed, and now they are losing their minds. Yes, it's woke and successful, so the anti-SJWs don't talk about it too much. They don't.
It's good. It is.
You can have woke and not go broke.
Yeah.
You can.
There's a way to do it.
And the Boys is kind of equal opportunity criticizing at each side too, though. Yeah.
And they've been leaning into the whole Homelander I didn't need them to say it. I mean, some of the stuff he's done in the last couple of seasons at the rally. There's a scene where he thought he was being a jerk, but he saw that the people at the rally were supporting him and he got excited. If you didn't know that was supposed to be a Trump thing, I don't know what you were I don't know how you missed it, but
no, Larry, I'm not going to call him Nimrodic anymore. I used to do that in my old school self. Nerdrotic Gary said a few seasons ago that he stopped watching. It's not recently, so he stopped watching. So there's been anti-SJWs have had an issue with the Boys since like season 2, I think. So
all right.
But fair question, Larry. Yes, woke doesn't have to lead to broke. It doesn't. No, it can be done well. I'm trying to think of another. I think a very progressive movie was The Joker, talking about how that scene was so impactful when he said, "Why, if I fell on the ground, you'd step over me." And dealing with mental health, honestly, that's still a big issue. The way people treat people with mental health, you just avoid them, or lots of people have these issues right now.
Right.
The way it's handled, and it's constantly cut. And not to get into the gun debate either, but two things could be true at the same time, maybe. And I don't know if you want to comment on it or not, but I will say, even if you are for gun reform or whatever, it does not hurt to look at the mental health situation. There is an epidemic there too.
Of course.
I think it would help to look at both.
Yeah.
What I retweeted a meme there. No one blames the lightsaber for when Anakin got the younglings. I was like, wow. Yeah, I did retweet that. No, I retweeted that. I was like, wow, that's kind of like
he slaughtered a whole Sand People village.
No one blames the lightsaber.
Killed kids, yeah.
So yeah, true. It was very progressive Joker, but no one even recognizes that, or at least focuses on that.
Yeah, it was done in a way that was whatever. It's kind of like the movie Parasite is arguably woke, right? I mean, it's like these underprivileged people taking advantage of these wealthy people, and that kind of thing. And there's ways to do it, everybody. That's not bothersome. The movie Promising Young Woman, for example, everybody check it out. It's a super woke topic, like a whole Me Too topic, and it's woke and all that. But it's done in such a way that's not like, I don't know how to put it. It's not, I hate to use the term virtue signaling and all that. It's just done in a way that it's not like in your face. It's like sort of telling the story and getting its point across without being preachy. That's what it is. I guess it's not preachy.
Yeah. All right. Let me go to the next one here. Let's get to Isaac. Oh, well, Cal, yeah, Isaac, then Cal. Okay, so Isaac, the biggest movie fan. Thank you, Isaac. We appreciate all you support on the channel. Did you guys watch the stream from John Campia saying, if you just like Marvel or just DC, then you are dumb? That's what he said.
Really? Oh my God, no, I didn't see that.
I agree with him.
A comment like that.
I agree with him. That's just like fanboys that are either Team Sony, Anthony Beltry, or Team Xbox. Like, why? If you like video games, acknowledge that the other team releases good video games. If you like superheroes, why are you just going to like DC or just Marvel? I do think that's dumb. I completely agree with John Campia. Like, why limit yourself? It's something that you like already. I understand there's differences, but it's the similar genre. Like, why block yourself off from more experiences? That's what I think. I don't know. What's your take, Voltaire?
I mean, I agree with the sentiment. Like, there's no reason to take a team and just sort of just hate the other. I love DC, I hate Marvel, or vice versa. I don't know that telling people they're dumb if they do think that way is just.
I mean, I'd be honest, I wouldn't naturally say that, but I kind of agree with them. Like, I wouldn't say dumb, but I would say why. I would be more glass half full. Like, why wouldn't you like both if you like superheroes?
Right. There's a way to say, why is he so obnoxious to say you're dumb?
Because that's the way the YouTube works, and you get more reactions. And we're talking about it here. Would we be talking about, because this is how YouTube works, Voltaire? Would we be talking about it if he said it in a nice way? No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. It wouldn't be a topic on the mic drop. It wouldn't be topic on the mic drop.
Right. Yeah, I think limiting yourself. I grew up.
I don't say you're dumb. I say don't limit yourself. That's what I say.
Yeah. When I was a kid and I read comics, I did not read DC comics except for the odd Batman series. You know what I mean? I never read a Superman comic, nothing like that. But I read Marvel comics nonstop. But as far as consuming the movies and stuff like that, that's a different story. Enjoy them. There's no reason to. It's really just which characters you like. To take a side on it. I mean, is there really that many people who take a side? Like, I don't watch.
It's the same. Video games, Team Xbox, Team Sony, it's all the same, Voltaire. Team politics and superheroes, it's all the same. Team Gunn, Team Snyder.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's people like to take sides. Let me see here. If you RJ, just put it in the mailbag and we'll refresh. Or if you don't have to be a member to ask a question, just ask it there. Or if you want us to go in overtime, do an overtime topic. Tag it overtime. I'm talking like $1 or $2. It doesn't have to be a lot if you want. I mean, we'll stay a few extra minutes if you're supporting the channel in that way. But let's get back to our pal Cal, who may be a guest on a future mic drop episode. I'm not skipping over. I want variety. I don't want to just read 3 of one person in a row. That's why. Arch, you see how critical he is in the chat? I want to go, Larry, Isaac, Cal, and then we'll get back to you. Okay. Cal says, why exactly are you collecting VHS? Are you hoping to sell them in the future? Do you want them faux bragging rights? Do you want to like me now with DVD, just preserve and know that I have these films? Some I love, some I don't, and some form physical copy. Also, if you search hard enough, someone could probably press VHS boxes. Stay away from Mama Bear as well. She's Team Kingdom of Nerds. What the hell, Cal?
He's coming in hot.
Wow. Mike dropped on me about Mama Bear. Okay. I just said she could be a guest. That's it. Wow. All right.
No topic is unallowed here on the hot mic.
The reason I love VHS collecting so much is, and I love retro video games. You know that, right, Voltaire?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But everyone knows what retro video games are worth. And when you're on the hunt for it, you do not find things often for cheap price. It's not very attainable. It's not newcomer friendly. It's very expensive. I sold off my Super Nintendo collection and my Genesis collection. I love those games. For one reason, I bought Genesis collections over and over and over again, where most of those games are on every single system. Nintendo Online has them, and they're easily obtainable for modded systems. But I maintain a Nintendo membership anyway to play Nintendo Online. But searching them when they're expensive is not very fun for me. Like, there's some YouTubers that hunt, sell their collection, and sell the whole thing and then start over. That's so boring to me to re-hunt for games I bought in the past. So something that's appealing is I like movies. I want to review movies. It gives me something tangible there. The quality is not as bad as people think. And you can find really good deals for VHS. And I also like to collect still for things that were accepted by the mass markets. Like, one of the best Xbox eras was the 360. That was their best era of video game systems. There's a lot of 360 games out there. You could still find one for a good deal. Now, they have gone up in price, so I still collect for the 360. Everyone had a VHS. There's so many VHS out there. You could find some really good deals, some really good movies, and it's really cool to find a VHS tape for 13 cents. You know, that's cheaper than anything you could imagine. Anything you could get right now. It's so exciting to find something like that. And the artwork is great to have a little collectible that also plays. The artwork on VHS tapes is really, really superior to, in my opinion, to DVDs. You know, like the DVDs just look really thin on the shelf. I just love the VHS experience. And I really enjoy watching them. It's like a different version. Now, some movies I like so much, I have them on every format. Like Back to the Future, I have them on VHS. I got rid of the DVD, I have Blu-ray and Steelbook. You know, for movies that are that important to me, like my top 10, I'll probably buy them. Like Star Wars, I have it in every version. But there's some movies I don't need the upgrade. Some movies I might just like a dollar version of that movie. You know, I don't need that for every movie. And then the other reason I like it so much is you disconnect when I'm at the lake. When I'm at the lake, I can watch a VHS. I don't need a Wi-Fi connection to watch it. You know, bring a couple tapes to the lake, watch it, and review it. That's all. Voltaire has no real comment on this topic.
I do. It's just like, if you watch Max's videos, he derives real joy.
It's fun finding stuff for a good price. I'm a bargain hunter.
Yeah.
I love a bargain.
And, you know, it's like, if you know, what is life about? But other than trying to, you know, bring joy into your own life as much as you can, you know, without hurting other people and, you know, hurting yourself. And you make a good point. I never thought of it that way. There's not that many things you can collect for a reasonable price, quite honestly, and still go hunting for them and that kind of thing.
I mean, even my TVs, like I got one for $10.
Right.
CRT TV, it's perfectly fine. You can have a lot of fun doing stuff like that.
How happy you were when you got that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV or whatever. This is the Batman TV. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, whatever makes you happy, everybody, without harming yourself.
I personally get use of it because of my life. On when I have time, like next weekend, I'm going to the cottage. I'm going to probably go swimming. I'm going to watch a VHS tape with my parents. You know, that's not a good time to first watch Evil Dead, though. My parents they would not like that movie. Or Bad Boys, something else, you know. But yeah, I enjoy it, and it gives me a chance to really disconnect from the internet, my phone, and just watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need the highest quality of every movie. And it's not
also something to put your energy into, looking for these things and that. And, you know, it's good to have something to strive for no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And the music, I've listened to more music now. The other thing that's cool about hunting is you do pick up, and this is the thing that's missing from, for example, the streaming age. When you used to go to rent a movie at the rental place, you would get what's there. And then you watch it and you're like, man, I never would have watched it if it wasn't for that.
Oh, there you go.
So on a Tape Hunters episode, I bought my mother's CD player. I went to a Goodwill and went through all the dollar CDs, and I found her some really good stuff. And what was there was the soundtrack for A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and what's the guy's name that's Rocket Raccoon?
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. I love that movie. I haven't watched it since it came out. I love it even more now. But the reason, so we found the soundtrack first and we started playing it in the car because I still have a CD player in my car. And she's like, "This is really good. I've never seen this movie." And I'm like, "Mom, you should really see it. It's a really good movie." And then we went to a regular resale store that sold it for like $6-7. And I'm like, "I'm not paying that." And then I went to another, instead of Goodwill, it was Salvation Army. And I found it brand new for $1.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, if I didn't find the soundtrack, I wouldn't have been looking for the movie and found it for $1. And then we watched it and she really liked the movie. And then I like it even more now. And now I own a copy on Blu-ray that I got for $1. It was sealed.
Wow, for $1. Wow.
Sealed with the digital copy inside and a DVD for $1.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you get. Whereas, yes, you could just waste your life scrolling through menus of streaming, but there's something different about what's available there. And sometimes you happen upon something that you weren't thinking of, and then it's even more special. Like, wow, And I'm so looking forward to Joker 2. I'm a huge Lady Gaga. I know it's not everyone is, but I really enjoy. I actually am more of a fan of her since she's become an actress than her music.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. Used to collect Star Wars Black Series and Funkos and sold them. Do you collect anything besides bidets?
Yeah, I mean, I stopped. I was collecting colognes for a while.
Oh, really?
Which is another expensive habit, you know what I mean? And then one day I was like, I have more cologne than I'm ever going to use. So I was like, I kind of just stopped that. But no, not right now. There's nothing that I'm sort of like. I was collecting watches for a while, and that's
watches. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you still have the watches?
Yeah. Like micro brand watches, not just like all expensive ones. You know what I mean? Like small little brands. Like,
I mean, if you're up for it, I'd like to see them someday. That'd be cool. Like a picture of them.
Yeah.
Cologne and watches. Do you see what you're criticizing, Cal? I think he's got some game. Wait, let me see what he says. Collecting cologne. That is white. What about watches? I knew it. Cologne hoarder. Cologne hoarder. Zeno collects dust. I agree. Zeno collects dust. Black Series and Funkos, they gained in value as much as I knew, Vince. I made, I'm not trying to be a reseller, but I sold my Funko collection and it helped me out of I've been in debt multiple times in my life, which I'm trying to get out again. But yes, that helped me get out of debt, pay off a credit card at one point.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Sometimes they gain value, but I think the bubble was burst on Funko. I think they're only the hardcore sticking with it. And I see so many Funkos overwhelming Funkos at the resale shops.
Is that right?
I don't think anyone's. I think it's past its popularity height.
Are they still expensive at the resale shops?
There's still like exclusives that are expensive, but overall, there's just like what happened is when people were making a lot of money on reselling Funkos, they would buy them all. But now only people want the rare ones, so there's just massive amounts of Funkos everywhere.
Yeah.
In the resale shops, like the stores I go to, they have at the top, it's all Funkos.
Mm-hmm.
The Juice, you're gonna laugh at me, the Juice Main. What's your favorite cologne then, Voltaire and Max? Axe body spray. This is the only thing I actively used back in the day, and I don't use anything now. Maybe I should. Maybe that'll spice things up. But I have no favorite cologne. And Voltaire is second guessing being on a panel with me after I said Axe. But go ahead, Voltaire.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's tough to pick one favorite. Probably Green Irish Tweed. Creed Green Irish Tweed is one of my favorites. The nice clean scent, and then the Acqua di Gio line, the Profumo, which is no longer made, which I have a bottle of, which I hate to spray. I spray it only on hot dates and special occasions now because they don't make it anymore. And that's on the resale market. People resell it. and you hope you're getting the real thing. So, but it's probably Profumo, the black Aqua di Gio.
Okay, cool. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try some. I don't know. Well, I'll see. Go Cool Water if you're going basic.
Cool Water is good. Cool Water is a rip-off of Green Irish Tweed, and it's cheaper, and it's about 75% of Green Irish Tweed. So there's nothing wrong with Cool Water.
Okay. RJ says, what is the best advice you could give for a job interview? Definitely practice, but don't set your mind that how it's going to go. Be adaptive. And also, I would say promote your social skills with dealing with people. Again, that's what's going to separate us from AI and automation. Is I'm a people person. I'm very attentive to people's needs. I would try to listen and respond, and try to do that with your interviewer. And then say, I know business change. I want to try to adapt to business changes too. Say how you, because that's a big thing with all businesses now. When you hire someone, a lot of people lose their mind when things change at their job, employees. And it can be rough. Even on MME, things change sometimes. Don't lose your mind over it. Say, I will adapt to the change in the business needs. And if you have an employer that knows that about you, and you stress that, this is my advice. We'll get Voltaire's in a second. If you stress your people skills and your history, and actually listen to what they were saying instead of getting overly prepared in your head of how it's going to go, because you don't know exactly what they're going to ask, and say that you think one of your strengths, and try to adapt to change a business environment. I think that's something an employer might like to hear, me personally. That's my advice. Voltaire, what would you say to people out there looking? Because there are people looking for jobs right now.
Yeah. The number one thing I can give you, everybody, as somebody who's interviewed people, who's my clients have me sit in on interview panels with them, because they have to have third parties from outside, is go in there and show some enthusiasm. Like, show you want the job. Like, you are enthusiastic. Everybody knows you're in there. You want the job.
I'll be real. When I was interviewing a lot back in the day, I was like, hey, I was really down about it. And I had my social skills were not good.
Right. So make yourself stand out. Like, make it seem like you've looked into this company. I like what you guys do. I'm so excited about working at this. If it's a small company, say, I love the idea of working in a smaller environment. If it's a big company, say, I love the idea of collaborating with a lot of people. Remember, the people who are hiring you, they are worried about bringing a jackass in and somebody who won't mix well with everybody else. So be positive, be happy, and show some enthusiasm. It's that simple. It really is. It's shocking how many people just come in and just are like, yeah, I could do this, or I have experience with this, and always have a couple of questions in your back pocket to ask them. Like, at some point they're going to ask you, do you have any questions for us? Or is there anything else you want to know? Just have a couple of questions, even if they seem silly. Like, what's the day-to-day for the management here? Or what would, that kind of thing. Whatever, tune it to the business, but enthusiasm, everybody.
Yeah, that's great. I think give some great advice there. I would do. I tell everyone, if I was on, I'm glad I was not on YouTube in my 20s. I was an idiot. I made lots of mistakes. I'm still making mistakes day by day, but I'm trying harder. I also was, a little bit pretentious in like my music likes and everything, but I'm like, let that stuff go. Let it go and enjoy more things. Like, there is so much to enjoy right now. If it's not out now, there's some great retro stuff, video games, movies, music. There's way too much to like to spend that much time on disliking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really, there's so much out there.
Yeah.
Cal says, after so many interviews, when you're desperate and getting turned down so many times, I know the feeling. Yeah, I was down. I was going right out of school. I was going to all these interviews. I wasn't confident. I was so concerned and worried that I would over prepare, and then I wouldn't be adaptive to what they're actually asking in front of me. Like I thought they were going to ask, just listen to them and be positive and be happy to be there. And yeah. Okay, so let's get to the next one here. Jacob McKenzie. Oh God, RJ, you really thoughts on Will Smith.
Well, he's a paying customer. Look, Max.
No, I know, and I don't know what he wants to react. Resident Justice $4 paying for an overtime to get a video reaction. I'm afraid of what? Okay, we'll give it our best shot. Thank you for the support. Okay, so thoughts on Will Smith says it's harder to convince audiences to go to movie theaters when TV shows can now deliver such high quality at home. The definition of a hit is still pretty much the same. Essentially, it's just harder to get one. I agree with that. There's more competition for entertainment. We had to wait for we're not trying to be like a bunch of old men yelling at the lawn or the clouds like Voltaire, but we're, back in our day, you had to wait for entertainment a lot of times. You had to wait. Now it's everything's instantly available. If you want it, you could get it.
Yeah.
Music, movies, video games. So there's
you got to make the theater experience worth it. He's right.
You have to make it something special. People like the dog on Brian. He enjoys entertainment, but he's like, you gotta wow me a little bit. I don't want to see the same old thing again. My wife, when we were dating, we went to movies all the time. She does not want to go unless it's something cool or interesting. And superhero movies, she's like, oh, she said a bunch of times, I'm done with them. They're all the same. There's nothing special about them, So, let's see here. Thoughts on Bad Boy Ride or Die debuts with 104.6 million worldwide. The film had a production of 100 million. That's great. I do want to see it. I was planning to see it. I just didn't get the time and was preoccupied with other stuff this weekend. I didn't even get to watch my VHS. I have my VHS ready to go. I was preparing. I bought Bad Boys 1 and 2 to prepare for this day, and I let it slip by me. So I do want to see it. It looks a lot of fun. Hopefully this week, before I go away for the weekend, I can maybe sneak out one of the days and just see it. I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't want to cancel my A-list, but I'm not using it. It's just time restraints.
Yeah.
But I do want to see it.
I'm happy for Martin Lawrence. I like Martin Lawrence.
I knew I was going to wonder how you're going to spin that in there. Yes, you're happy for Martin Lawrence. But even though you're not a fan of Will Smith anymore, do you agree with what he's saying, though?
Yeah, he's 100% right there.
Yeah. All right, let's handle this. RJ asks, when will I get a show?
No.
Well, I don't want to say you have to do this or that. I don't want to be imposing on other people's creativity. I want to foster the smaller MME team to be supportive of all content creators and do things that promote all of us and help us all grow together and positive. Brian is still a channel owner and he's just tired of it. After all these many years on YouTube and social media, he's like, focus on content, not content creators. I mean, it's not like we can't have every once in a while, but focus on what we're, that's a good motto. So I do know you and Taladia did a great job with MME International. So there you go. I was thinking you and Taladia could work on that, or I would love Marvel Mania to return. I love Marvel. I'm so happy. I would love to see you do that for sure. You skipped my Hot Topic video reaction question. There's more there. I'll get to it. Let me see. I still have to see 3 before I go to 4. Oh, Isaac, don't be like that about CJ. Please, Isaac. CJH is a great guy. He's come a long way too. Don't throw shade on CJ, because then you're going to open up another can of worms. CJ
love CJH.
Yeah, we love CJH. He's just been focusing on work and stuff. So
good.
And yeah, he's been doing a lot better. Mm-hmm. That's something that we love CJH here. Okay, so let me see. Really? Did he do this? Okay, I'm going to have to find this. Hot topic. Can you react to the start of the John Campia's open mic today about 3 reasons why Kathy Kennedy deserves to be fired? Of course we can. And 3 dumb reasons why fans want her gone.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's the very opening, like the 3 to 5 minute mark or so. Absolutely, we can. And I don't even know if we're going to get the good news of Twitter today. It depends. It's up to you, Voltaire, because it's almost.
It's your call.
Okay. So far, how do you like the pilot? It's working nice.
I'm loving it. I'm hoping everybody is enjoying it.
Yes. Please show your support and give us feedback in the comments section below, even if you're watching live. If you want to support the show, if you want to be on this show. Cal, $5. Voltaire, give me a rundown of your day today. Leave out the Tesla. What's your day today? Thank you, Cal. Wow, you're right. You paid $5 to ask.
I appreciate your interest, Cal. So I run my own business, so I get up.
Respect. If you have employees work under you, you probably do. Yes, you do. That's I respect business owners for sure.
Right.
And I respect the law too. Lawyers get a bad rap. Listen, who else is going to be in your corner when it's the worst of days? I'm sorry. So,
So I mean, without getting into the weeds too much, like I wake up like 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, get up, get dressed, have a cup of coffee, go to work, start answering emails. A lot of my job is answering clients' emails and that kind of thing. If I don't have court, that's a whole different thing. I get up. Is it a video appearance, or do I have to actually drive to a courthouse? That kind of thing. I work until about 7, and then 6:37. Then I curls for the girls. All right.
I do need to find my time to do that. I'm working on it, but go ahead, Voltaire.
Yeah,
do exercise. Yes.
Sometimes curls for the girls. I only have half an hour to do curls for the girls. You know what I mean? It's just do something. I try to do something exercise wise every day. Again, it's I work a lot. There's no question about it. That's why when I join the streams, it's sometimes later. You know what I mean? I'm home from work in the gym and that kind of thing. The gym is at my office. I built a gym at the office.
Whoa,
the real gym.
You're like the freaking Rock. You have a gym in your office?
It's not a good gym. I had to make it easy, right? So I built enough of a gym in the office, in one of the rooms in the office, to get in like a quick and dirty workout if I have to. You know what I mean? And it's not because I love working out or because I'm buff. I just work out to do something to keep the muscles, to prevent muscles from atrophying. That's it.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I just got out of the shower. I'm still like wet and everything. Okay.
Yeah. And then I work, and then I troll dating sites in my spare time sometimes, and then I'll go out with a lady.
Are you willing to say which ones? No, never mind.
Well, yeah, no, it's the usual ones. There's nothing special. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing. And then I just I'm a single man. I don't have a girlfriend, but I have a few girls I see, and that kind of thing. So I just kind of rotate through that. And then I on the weekend, I work too. I'm not going to lie to you. I was at the office all day today, and then Max reached out to me, and
we thought we'd give it a shot. We've been wanting to do, we did some shows before, but I like this format.
Mm-hmm.
Zeno.
No, not Grinder.
You asked that similar to Max. He tries to exercise his mouth around fast food burger every day. Listen, I gave up soda again. That's something significant. I drink a lot more water. I've just been so busy with my parents' needs of what they need at their house, preparing them for the open. Everyone knows I was working on their basement for like 2 months, and then opening the cottage is a big deal for my parents. It's somewhere they could, they don't have a lot of money now either. My mom's retired. My dad's disabled. It's something they really need for his mental health too, and hers. So I've just been focused on a lot of time, but I am working on my basement, my game room. I'm working on moving the pool table into the game room instead of the living room. Helping out my health situation too, less clutter upstairs. And that's going to be my workout room too, in front of my CRT TVs. That way I could pop in a VHS, watch it, and curls for the girls, do the elliptical, or ride the exercise bike while I'm watching a VHS.
Mhm.
So, I'm working on it. I have some visitors the end of June and July. I'm still going to have the pool table up then, but by the end of the summer, it's going to be down in the basement. It's a pool table, ping pong table,
Yeah, I saw you set that up on that video.
and air hockey table.
And everybody, for curls for the girls, everybody, I'm telling you, don't think it's a huge commitment. Like you got to go to the. I have friends who go to the gym for an hour every freaking other night, or 2 hour and a half. I don't do that. I did that in college and stuff. I can't do it now. I don't want to do it. I hate it. But you can get a little bit of a workout in 20 to 30 minutes, 25 minutes. And it's just doing a basic workout. It doesn't have to be heavy. And it makes a huge difference in every part of your life, not just your arms and your body, mentally, physically, and not to be crude, but your dick. Everything works better when you do like 20 minutes of lifting every other day.
No, I will say I'm not gonna, I respect let me see. Waiting for you. Oh, what? The job report. I covered that. What was I gonna say? Oh, El Necron, we would like to have you on the show as well eventually. So reach out to me or Voltaire. But that sounds like a nightmare having you on. Christian Mingle. He's in the black metal. He's like Hail Satan. That would be cut. That I would love to watch that reality show if you start using. I think that would be a great series. Black metal fan uses Christian Mingle. Are you serious? If you could capitalize on that with being respectful to the ladies or whatever, that would blow up. That's a great series. Please start that. I thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
Black metal rocker joins Christian Mingle. What happens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me see here. And I think that's all except for the reaction at the end. Someone replied, Anthony. We're effed regardless. I just want everyone to get through it, and you can't. People are going to still be here.
We'll get through it.
Go, yeah. So just chill out. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Let me bring this. I am actually very intrigued to see this from John.
And thank you, Cal. That was a good question. I appreciate your interest.
Yeah, I think Cal is actually a fan of yours, Voltaire.
Well, I'm a fan of his. That's for sure.
Well, we'll get him on the show.
He chips at me, but I find that
this is so exciting already. I think not that ladies should just be judged by. She's a very beautiful person. I just don't like what she's done. I don't like the way she's handled Lucasfilm and Star Wars. Although I like the Acolyte a lot. I like Andor. Things like that. But this is a reaction to the right and wrong reasons for believing Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. Open mic. Okay. And this, we're kind of copying. Well, it's different than, because we cover things that even can't be along a little bit. All right, here we go.
Cal.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to this newest installment of Open Mic here on the John Campea YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. And, of course, Open Mic is the show where the mic is open. The floor is yours. What kind of topics do you want to discuss? That is what we are here to do today. Hello, everybody who's joining me on this Sunday afternoon. Good to see all you guys here. Thanks for taking time out of your weekend to come on by as we hang around and chat for a bit. Good to see everybody in the live chat there already. And yeah, John Campea Show returns tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Probably a little bit later, me and Ann gonna get together some friends, go watch the NBA Finals a little bit today. Very disappointed in the Stanley Cup results yesterday with Edmonton losing game 1. I'm sure they actually outplayed Florida, but their goalie was red hot. Anyway,
Who cares?
guys, we're here to take your comments and questions. Now, the way you get a comment or question addressed on the show, number one, make sure it's appropriate for you to read on the show, or else I'm not going to read it no matter what. But if you want to get a comment or question on the show, go ahead and use the super chat feature to send it in. The super chats are currently open. The producer.
All right, we missed some.
You know, there's so many straw man arguments out there, and there's so many like facades out there. Like, again, as soon as somebody makes one bad movie, everybody says, don't let that person ever near another movie again. That person sucks, and completely ignoring all their background.
To be fair, Hollywood is just as cruel to the creatives as the fans are.
Mm.
You know, look what they did to Colin Trevorrow. He was the go-to guy, and then he makes his own movie. And then look at Zack Snyder. When he made Sucker Punch, everyone's like, this is what you come up when you have your own ideas? Screw you, Zack Snyder. Like, even before that, Patty Jenkins, it's one movie and you're done. You're hot or you're not.
That movie really killed her.
As much as you like to, we might like to put the blame on the audience, it's actually Hollywood itself, too. You know, if you don't have a string of hits, Muschietti, I really have still doubts about Batman the Brave and the Bold. I like Muschietti. I don't think The Flash was horrible or anything. Oh no, I'm saying in general, they turn on the dime, and it's not just the audience; that's the industry itself.
First thing that we need to point out in any discussion about Kathleen Kennedy, as I bring up to presenting my 3 charges.
Charges. Let's see if we agree with
is this. Charges. She is considered by many of the greatest filmmakers of all time to be the greatest producer.
Oh, God. I am so sick of having to explain she produced your childhood. We all know. It's so annoying that you can't even criticize her without saying she was involved with all your projects. We know, right?
Yeah.
It's like
she was working on those films. I don't like to give her credit for them.
I give her credit for that. She was produced them.
I think Steven Spielberg had something.
She was away from the creative part of it for most of it. I give her credit for staying away from the creative on that. Mm-hmm. She connects producing. She connects people to the money people, creatives to the money people.
Yeah.
But the head of Lucasfilm, you can't just do that. You have to have some creative input too, or creative direction to be in charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she's failed. Okay.
All time in Hollywood. Now, a lot of people, understandably so, in the world of movie fandom, don't often understand what the role of the producer is. The producer doesn't write the movie. The producer doesn't direct the movie. The producer doesn't design the costumes. So what does a producer do? A really good example of what a really good producer will do, go watch The Offer on Paramount Plus. The Offer is about how they went about getting The Godfather made, but it'll actually give you a really interesting insight to the role of a producer. Anyway,
I don't know what they had to do to get The Godfather made. I don't know the behind the stories there.
No, it's apparently a very interesting movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They had to actually go to the mall. I don't know.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
I've
not seen it, but I've heard good things about it.
Yes, name a movie you like from the 80s or 90s. She was producer on it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Folks like Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Peter Jackson, Martin Scorsese have either all of them at one point or another have called Kathleen Kennedy either the greatest producer ever in Hollywood or one of the greatest producers ever in Hollywood.
Not the greatest producer of Star Wars. Sorry, I have to say it.
Mm.
I have to say it. Even though we have differences of panelists disagree with that, they think this is the best Star Wars you've ever gotten. I don't think so. I think there's some bright spots, but
her job as a producer, not as a creative, but her job as a producer to bring to life, projects from an administrative and business point of view, identifying projects that can work and not work, and then identifying the elements that need to be given over to the creatives to make sure and ensure that whole thing can come to fruition and work. The role of a producer is incredibly important, and there's a reason why at the Academy Awards, when a film wins Best Producer, or Best Picture, it's handed to the main producer of a film. There's a reason for that. And Kathleen Kennedy has simply historically been one of the best. As a matter of fact, if you want a little bit of an eye-opening sort of thing, forget Star Wars. Take Star Wars out of it. These are just some of her career highlights.
You can't even get to this is so, and actually, I'm really annoyed. You can't even just get to the point. It's like
who doesn't know this already?
It's like being PC about criticism. I'm not saying she's just a coffee girl or a backup dancer in Temple of Doom. I'm not saying that.
The best work.
Yeah, but I don't need to go over. Just criticize her. If you're going to criticize me, go ahead, but don't. No one says a bunch of nice things about me anyway. But you don't have to just criticize. Just do the criticism. Good God.
It's that she has functioned in one role or another as a producer on over the years. And by the way,
would they do this? See, this is what's frustrating to me. This is where I say it's not an equal playing field. Would you do this if you were criticizing a man?
What, like Harvey Weinstein?
No, that bad example, Voltaire.
Well, he has a list like this.
No,
I'm saying
any other man that was in charge. Like if you're talking about Walter Hamada,
yeah.
Can you just say he's doing a bad job without bringing Walter Hamada's done a lot of great things.
Sure.
So I would say we are not treating women with respect when you softball like this. Just say she was not doing good with Star Wars.
Right.
If we really want to be equally respectful to men and women, treat them equally. Just criticize her. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's my thoughts. Yeah, no, bad example. Don't bring him in.
He's got a list like this. He's got an impressive list.
Regardless of, I don't like him. He's horrible. He was a good producer, but there was a lot of strings attached to this producing. There was there was really bad stuff that happened with that producing. So, but he was a good producer. I don't, whatever. Who owes her career to him is lots of people owe their career to him. Not
Jennifer Lawrence.
What's the one that wins the awards all the time every year?
Meryl
Streep. Yes. Okay. But I don't think he would do this if you're talking about like Walter Hamada or something.
Majority of these films have all either been nominated for Best Picture, won Best Picture, or been nominated for other Academy Awards. The vast majority of them. Anyway, she's acted and functioned as a producer on films like Poltergeist, E.T., Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, The Goonies, Back to the Futures 1, 2, and 3, The Color Purple, The Empire of the Sun, Cape Fear, Hook. Hook is awesome. I don't care what anybody says.
I love Hook.
Noises Off, my second favorite comedy of all time.
Sorry.
Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Twister, The Sixth Sense, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Sign, Seabiscuit, Munich, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Adventures of Tintin, War Horse, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Bridges of Madison County, and it goes on and on and on. Her resume as a producer is borderline second to none. Borderline second to none.
Oh my God.
She has an incredible track record as a producer. And in her defense, as since being the head of Star Wars, the reality too is she has enjoyed tremendous box office success.
That's true.
I mean, when we go over and look at it, Star Wars: The Force Awakens made
I don't think people put that in the perspective though. Like, yes, it made money, but it drastically decreased. Even though you're dealing with Star Wars, you have the OG trilogy cast members in it, and it's it went down.
Yeah,
2.7 billion to 1.3. That's a big down to 1 point. Then if it wasn't a trilogy and there was 4, the fourth one would have been under $1 billion the way it was going.
Listen, Star Wars coming back, bringing those movies back. It's like it was your mistake to you could only mess it up. If anything, you're going to make money on these films. They're going to be billion-dollar films. That's just the way it is. I don't give her credit for that. I'm sorry. I just don't.
It's not the focus, jackass. I'm sorry. He's like, I'm trying not. I had a super chat that requested it,
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly talking about Kathy. Thanks a lot for yes. I like everyone am also a hypocrite. Are you happy, Zito?
Oh my God.
I might get a Big Mac tomorrow. You made me so depressed. No, go ahead, Voltaire.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't think you have to have a very high batting average to make $1 billion Star Wars movie. You just don't. And no matter what anybody wants to say, there's no way that they're happy with. They wanted a beloved franchise to remain beloved, and she didn't do that. All right, she's failed at that. I stand by it. The box office is a box office because people will go see Star Wars. It's Star Wars. The IP is too valuable. There's no IP like Star Wars where people will just go see a movie no matter what. The closest thing is probably a Batman movie. People will go see a Batman movie, but not to the same
They won't go
extent.
see an average Batman movie. They won't.
No, and there's been too many.
I think the Batman was above average, but it still wasn't like a smash success like it was in the past.
Mm-hmm. And you think about it, there had only been 6 Star Wars movies. There hadn't been any Star Wars content, and now we have Star Wars movies again. You're telling me that anything you'd have to put a turd on screen and just put it in a punch bowl and just have that be that and not make $1 billion on a Star Wars movie. It's coming off of that. The Force Awakens 2.07 billion. It's not that impressive to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think it has slid. It's still, and I don't think you just put Star Wars in the theater and people are just immediately going to come back. I don't. I
Not
think it has
now.
to be special. I think it has to be good.
Not now, but at the time of The Force Awakens, you don't think so?
Well, the Force Awakens, you have the premise of you see the Millennium Falcon again. That was like amazing.
Well, yeah, and you hadn't
see
seen a
Han
Star Wars
Solo.
movie since Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How many years had gone by, and now you're getting Star Wars back? People were pumped.
And they
for
promised Luke Skywalker, and some people still don't feel like we got Luke back.
that.
It was the literal cliffhanger. And the first thing when you get back to Luke after that long, how long was that wait before Force Awakens: The Last Jedi? When you get to see Luke, they promised Luke
Yeah.
the biggest cliffhanger ever on a literal cliff, and then he throws the lightsaber over his shoulder.
And people were so excited for the prospect of Luke, they forgave that, thinking we're going to see him in the next movie. No big deal. We can live with this. I get it. They're building it up,
All right, well, let's see. We don't want to be here all night, but this is good. Thank you, RJ.
$0.7 billion at the box office, making it one of the highest grossing worldwide films of all time, but making it the #1 domestic box office film in history.
Yeah,
that's right.
I get that Lucas didn't make $1 billion. I'm talking about if you released a movie when Force Awakens came out. All right.
Well, Lucas did not have Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
he did the prequels. If he did, it would have been
it's a different time. It's a different economy. $1 billion isn't what $1 billion was in the 80s. You know what I mean? It was harder to hit $1 billion.
The closest you could say is he had Obi-Wan again, but Obi-Wan was only in the first movie significantly, and then a Force Ghost.
Yeah, it's like if you tell me that if George Lucas had released a new Star Wars movie when Force Awakens came out instead of Kathleen Kennedy producing it, if George Lucas had done it, you're telling me it wouldn't have done just as good as that? I don't believe it. Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what else he has to say.
Right. Domestically, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, a movie I personally love.
I still love
made
it.
more money than Avengers Endgame, made more money than Titanic, made more money than Avatar.
That's
it is
the John.
#1 domestic box office film of all time. And frankly, I don't know if it'll ever be beat.
Deadpool Wolverine.
And that in the domestic level, making almost $1 billion just in the domestic box office alone. Anyway, Rogue One, a prequel, but it made $1.05 billion.
I forgot that Rogue One made that much.
Yeah, I forgot that too.
I love Rogue One. I do. But I forgot.
Movie.
I didn't know it made over $1 billion, actually.
The Last Jedi made $1.34 billion. Solo, only made $393 million, roughly one Black Adam. And The Rise of Skywalker, which I really detest and hate with the burning passion of 1,000 suns, but The Rise of Skywalker made $1.07 billion. In other words, when you average out her Star Wars box office, the average box office take per film exceeds that of Marvel's average per box office film.
Why
Granted,
does he have her face blurred out there?
I think that's just a camera.
Marvel has a
okay.
lot more films to smooth out the average. Granted, 100% yes, but the point remains. Kathleen Kennedy has had some big wins. And then just look at Disney Plus as well. Mandalorian, at least seasons 1 and 2. Star Wars, what's it called? Visions. A lot of people like Star Wars Visions, right? A lot of people like Star Wars Visions. Andor, I think, is the best thing Star Wars has done since the original trilogy. All these things that have worked and are big wins have happened under the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy. There is a good argument to be made for Kathleen Kennedy. And so when George Lucas personally picked her, when George Lucas himself personally hand-selected her to succeed him as the president of Lucasfilm, I thought on paper it was a great idea. On paper, I thought it was a great idea. Now, with all that said, and me making a case that I believe that, like, Kathleen Kennedy as a movie producer, not as a head of a company, but as a movie producer, I think Kathleen Kennedy, you're an idiot if you don't acknowledge that she is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like if there was a Hollywood Hall of Fame, like there's sports Hall of Fames, Kathleen Kennedy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're just simply this. There's no subjective nature about this. When you look at her resume,
John, if she had a ball, it'd be clean by now.
She's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Come on, it's 10 minutes in. RJ, where does he criticize her? Look at this. He's
he has to do all this before.
He's afraid to just criticize her.
He has to do this preamble before.
Look at that. Look at that. Now I'm going to say something not nice. I mean, this is where we're at right now, though. I mean, it's part of the reason is the anti-SJWs have made it like everyone wants to think you're that if you even say one criticism. That's the reason he's doing this Saga dance, you know? But keep going. Where does he get to the point? I want reasons right and wrong.
All right, he's gonna get to it. You can tell.
Voltaire's falling asleep again. I don't want that to happen.
Not as a producer, not as a company head, but as a producer. So I get all of that. I do. But there's a lot of people calling for Kathleen Kennedy to either leave or be fired from her role as president of Lucasfilm. Now, before I get to my 3 charges, I want to lay out a completely invalid, nonsensical reason to want her fired. Okay? A completely invalid,
I'm just gonna let it play as much as I can to get to.
This is not a valid reason.
Should I speed him up?
Kathleen Kennedy's all about the Force's female.
Let him
Kathleen Kennedy
off his chest.
girls in Star Wars.
He has to do this preamble so he doesn't get.
He is. To be fair, I kind of disagree with him there. Like she definitely is about the Force's female, especially if you get to the no spoilers. Everything I've heard about the Acolyte episode 3. Actually, Voltaire, we need to do a live reaction if possible, because I've heard some things that's gonna set you off. If they really go this route, like changing the whole, it's like on the level of midichlorians, but for Force, you know. And
I've heard some rumors too. Yeah, we should do a live watch along and then do the live reaction right after. That'll be good.
I mean, I love the show. I love the show.
Well, I like the first 2 episodes. I love Jedi action. It was good.
But saying she's all about the Force's female is not inaccurate at all. So he's wrong there. He's doing this song and dance like everyone's a man, baby. No, I like the female characters, but she is definitely about the female characters, and so is with the whole industry. But for me, and this is, I think are you with me, Voltaire, where you want true diversity?
I want everything. Yeah.
Yes. So true diversity is not just a lot of new female heroines.
Yeah.
That's not diversity. That's just going the other way. That's just the opposite of what it was before. It was all male superheroes and male Jedi and stuff before. Now it's mostly female. Mostly male, mostly female. That's not diversity, right?
Yeah.
So I actually want diversity, and I'm okay with a lot of female characters, but when it's every time, it's like, okay, we get it. And pointing that out is not mocking worthy immediately. That's John's doing here.
That
He is
simply the anthem of the ignorant,
no.
He has to
and
say
is an
this
ass
stuff now.
stupid
He has
thing to say.
It's not. I completely
Now,
disagree.
Gone over
He
this
doesn't
before.
believe it either.
The whole nature of this narrative that some people have tried to construct, that Kathleen Kennedy has brought a political agenda to Star Wars. By the way, if you actually objectively look at all the modern Star Wars films, they are far more apolitical than any of George Lucas.
I agree with that.
Listen, George Lucas himself explicitly said there is political messaging in the original Star Wars films and in the prequels.
Except if you consider representation in a lot of female characters, if you consider that political, then it's more so. But if you're talking about others type of politics, depends on what you're talking about. I kind of agree with them there. The prequels really dove into the politics.
Yeah.
Star Wars, like he's explicit about it. He comes right out and says it. Like one is about like the Vietnam War, the other is about like the political dynamism and all that kind of stuff. Like he explicitly says there's political messaging in all the Star Wars movies. Like George Lucas himself has explicitly stated that. The Star Wars movies, though, today are far more apolitical than any of the older Star Wars films. They just are. Now, some people will say that, Kathleen Kennedy has made Star Wars all about SJW and made Star Wars all about the woke and all that kind of nonsense. By the way, when anybody uses the word woke, I just assume they're an idiot. But anyway, that aside. Now, I've made this point before, but never in this one coherent package as we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy as a whole. When you look at, let's say, take The Force Awakens as an example. When you look at the Star Wars films, the modern ones, at any rate, the good and the bad, I have watched them all very closely. There's not one part in
Holy
any
crap,
Star Wars.
RJ, $4 for like 30 minutes one time. This is taking the. I don't know, Voltaire. We're gonna have to. I don't think we're gonna be able to get to the whole thing. Do you think?
I would like to get to maybe yeah, fast forward a bit to where he gets to his point of what his preamble is unbelievable.
I mean, this looks like it's gonna this is gonna take hours to dissect.
RJ says not the whole thing.
Okay. All right. Let me speed him up a little bit here.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it annoying, but all right. I have stuff to do. I gotta get ready for work. All right, let me do one
movie that has any kind of female empowerment message, although there would be no problem with it if they did. I'm not saying there would be a problem with it if they did. I'm just pointing out the fact that there's not.
He's afraid to just give
point does Rey say, I know
saying it.
that I can defeat the Sith because the Sith do not understand vaginal power. The Sith do not understand the mightiness that it is of womanhood. And because
vaginal power
to either leave or be fired from her role as president of Lucasfilm.
Oh, did I rewind?
Now, before I get to my three, they dismissed and overlooked my feminine wiles because the power of women shall save the universe. There is nothing in any of the Star Wars movies that has any of that anywhere. Not once. And I've watched these movies ad nauseum. And not once. I often compare this to
that's beta.
A situation like CW Supergirl. Some of you have heard me make this comparison before. You see, if you wanted to make that argument about the CW Supergirl show, you would have a point. I still don't think it's worth bringing up, but you would have a point. There are many times in that Supergirl show that they have these big, long, exposition dumps about how I'm a girl, and therefore as a girl, people don't look at me right as a girl, but as a girl, I have girl power and I can do all that. There's a lot of that in Supergirl. Not that there's no problem with that, the fact that there is, but if you wanted to point out that that was there in something like Supergirl, you would be right. You would have a point, and I would understand. But in Star Wars, not once. Like when I watched Obi-Wan, which was a total disappointment, but when I watched Obi-Wan, that girl Inquisitor, not once is there ever a point made about the fact that she's a girl.
That's
like,
true.
Never is it pointed out there, watch out. The female Inquisitors are specifically deadly. They have more power than anybody else because they're girls. Not once. Not once is any of that ever stated or said. As a matter of fact, if you just took that female Inquisitor out and replaced her as a male character and didn't change any of the dialogue other than pronouns, he didn't change any of the other dialogue, it wouldn't have made a difference to the show.
I agree with him there.
No, he's right about that.
Yeah.
I always said Reva was just badly written. It was not a problem that she.
I thought she was all right. I didn't mind her.
No, I
mean,
thought
she's not. I'm not like.
dialogue was
But honestly, if you get a new villain, you want to be like, "Oh, that villain's really cool," and I didn't get that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. RJ sent $9 for an hour video response.
Because that's how non of an issue it is. So what it then comes down to, if there actually is no feminist messaging in these new Star Wars films, if there actually is no, SJW exposition narratives being given in any of the Star Wars movies, then what are people talking about? Here's what they're complaining about. They're complaining about just the fact that women are there.
No. They actually want real diversity. Not everyone. There's some of us that just want real, if you wanted to put money on a new casting, if you're doing a franchise, what would you put money on? That'd be a woman casting or a male casting? If they're going to say a reimagining of a franchise or continuation, what do you think the main focus is going to be?
Yeah, well, look. The other night you were going through Good News of Twitter, and they put up that potential team of the next Avengers, and there was 4 dudes and 2 women. I told you you'll never see that ratio in a Marvel movie again. So my answer to that. They're not going to ever do something like that. So my thing with him is it's not just that there's just women.
He's the exact problem on the other side. He's the exact problem on the other side. Calling people stupid or man babies that don't understand. They are casting it's the majority of the characters now are women. And there's nothing misogynistic about pointing that out.
So their thing is there seems to be a theory out there that, and I agree, back in the day it was all male focused stories.
Yes, it was.
Now they're trying to overcorrect in the other direction.
Yeah,
instead of bringing it in evenly, that's I think your point you're trying to make.
John, just calling people names, you're just as bad as who you're criticizing. Is what I'm thinking. Just as bad as who you're criticizing, because I'm not going to whine about another female character, and I actually really like the new character in the Acolyte. But if I would have bet money on it before Leslie Headland announced the cast, I would have put money on the lead female being a character, or lead character being a female.
Yeah,
I would totally put money on it, and I could make some money. It's a sure bet.
Because if you can't complain about an actual message being given in the movie, which there is none, then what you're saying is just the fact that a woman is there is the message. Just the fact that they have characters.
And that is where people jumped the shark. Yes, that's not.
But also their point is that all the stories being told are about women now, and he's saying you're not allowed to say that if they're not. The women don't have to be on there and say girl power, girls are better than men. It's just that they're all female focused stories, or mostly female focused stories. And he's discounting that, and by saying you just hate women being there.
If you're also going to make someone make mistakes or the fool of the show, what else is a pattern? Yes, there's still male characters in there, but Yord, I love Yord, but most of the time it's either Holdo or a younger Padawan, X-23, Daphne Keene telling Yord what to do, and laughing at him. Right?
Yeah, they've made a clown out of him in 2 episodes.
Yeah,
they've completely emasculated.
That is a great paused freeze frame. That'll make a great remix short.
Flip that for a thumbnail.
Yeah. All right, we're only 2 minutes left, and we gotta end. It's 2.
Yeah.
Are female. Just the fact that their presence is there. That ultimately is what they say. That in and of itself is sending a message. A message that we don't exclude people out of Star Wars? When it really comes down to it,
okay.
What many of these people really, when they really break down the logic, what their real problem is that women, people of color, people in the LGBT community, whatever, are even there. How dare they even have a presence here?
No, it's
their very presence.
Yeah, he's taking it to the other.
The acknowledgement of their existence.
RJ, I've had enough. I want to hear about you. Tricked me. I heard about Kathy Kennedy, why he wants to get rid of her. I'll have to do that in a different video.
Oh no, here he's putting up the list of. This is a list you've referenced, Max, where he
All right,
the stuff she started and not finished. He had to do all that preamble so
21
nobody would call him
minutes.
a hater. Yeah.
Yeah, started not and completed Star Wars Disney movie. Force Awakens, Last Jedi. Did not complete. Force Awakens, Gareth Edwards, Josh Trank, Lord Miller, Colin Trevorrow, Ryan Johnson, Stephen Dodry. This is the I'm too busy list. According to Kathy, this is another failure. She can't even accept criticism herself, is why he's doing this. And yes, John Campea has been, from what I've heard, has had some issues with his access to the premieres. So that's why he feels like he has to jump through hoops. But this is the I'm too busy for Star Wars list. Gareth Edwards, Josh Trank, Lord Miller, Colin Trevor, Ryan Johnson, Stephen Daldry, James Mangold, Benny F. Weiss, Patty Jenkins, J.D. Diller, Damon Lindelof, and Justin Britt, Kevin Feige and Michael Waldron, Taika Waititi. That is a significant list.
No, he's calling it canceled now. The Taika Waititi film. Wow.
Well,
I thought
it wasn't officially canceled. I do know Taika Waititi. Take him or leave him. I kind of like him, but when he's obnoxious on social media as well, and he was saying, "I'm going to make a movie that Star Wars fans hate." He was playing with it, which means I don't think he was taking it too seriously, which I do not think he is actively progressing on his project.
I would only let him make a droid movie. I would not let him touch the regular characters at all.
Yeah. And Star Wars not being in the theater is a failure for me, although the shows
it's a failure for them too. It's a failure for Disney. They wanted a movie every year, like Marvel was doing, or they wanted 2 movies every year.
Looking at this list, that's not those, and we'll get to the apologists that say these weren't officially announced. Companies use the trades, even James Gunn at this time, to bring in James Gunn. While he wasn't actively filming, he would handle most of the announcements himself. Now what's happening while he's filming Superman Legacy, you have announcements come out through the trades. And then he says confirmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of these were through the trades. Some of these were going to be at Star Wars Celebration. Big disaster not to have Star Wars in the theater after you spend how many billion getting it. But ultimately, I'm happy with where Star Wars is at right now, what I'm getting. I loved Ahsoka. I loved Mandalorian. I loved Andor. Boba Fett was okay. I enjoyed it. It didn't hurt my feelings or anything. And Acolyte, I'm loving. Visions, I haven't really watched. The animated shows, there's a lot of Disney Plus shows. So so I think that's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah. Just on that list, when the Benioff and Weiss thing, and then the Patty Jenkins thing, after she did that, little pre-trailer, whatever you want to call it, that teaser she did, that's when I knew there was real problems. I know it's far down the list, but that's when I really knew she's having a hard time if she can't wrangle this talent. Like getting these people on and that kind of thing, and then not being able to work with them, that made me think there's something really bad going on that we don't know about. But anyway.
Yeah. So I at least got to that point. I am actually going to watch this. I haven't watched Campy in a while. I actually haven't been watching other movie talk except my friends lately. So I haven't even watched the movie.
And clip segments of it. That's what needs to be. That's what needs to happen.
We'll have Voltaire do his typical outro tonight, and then we'll see what we want to do for the future of the show. But thank you for everyone contributing. RJ says he's really trying hard to be on that guest list. Look how much he's kissing your butt. Good night, everyone. Great episode of the Mic Drop. Voltaire said yes. You don't have to keep asking, RJ. He doesn't need it.
I'd like to think he's being sincere. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it. We're trying to give something a little different here. And good night and good luck.
Thank